and
Right.
anybody who's of African descent knows that.
Welcome back to the YouTube channel. Is your man King Anan. Today we got a special one for you. Today I'm going to be interviewing a brother that lives in Ghana. He's originally out of the United States, but he's currently living in Ghana. He's doing some amazing things. So I'm going to go ahead and bring him on, and then we're going to delve into his story, some of the endeavors that he's got going on in Ghana. And then it's going to be a great interview. So stay tuned, guys. All right, so here we go, guys. So today we're going to be talking to a brother by the name of Moe Cheatham. He goes by Moe. And,
Yes,
I just, want to thank you for giving me the time to talk to you about Ghana, what you got going on in Ghana, your endeavors and everything else, the whole gamut. So just go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us, your full name and, a
yeah.
little bit about your story and how you found yourself in Ghana.
All right. Well, first of all, I'd like to thank you for reaching out, man. Anytime I'm able to have a conversation discussing Ghana, bro, I'm just happy. You don't get to do this every day.
Right.
So thank you for building this pipeline and this foundation to discuss this. My whole name is Barry Maurice Niayete Cheatham. I'm half Ghanaian. My father is Ghanaian from Jamestown, Accra. I'm gonna be quite honest with you. My story is a little bit ironic, bro. I was raised in Detroit, basically grew up in Detroit. My father raised me. He had came over early in the 70s, went to college, got a job, met my mom from Miami. Raised me, but my mother and father got divorced when I was about 13. After that, my father moved and he retired early and moved back to Ghana. Early on, let me be clear, even though I had Ghanaian heritage, I didn't celebrate being African. It wasn't popular in the 70s and the 80s being African. It was always something in my back pocket. And
Right.
anybody who's of African descent knows that. It's
Right.
not what it is now. And let me be clear, my father was fully Ghanaian, dashikis on the weekends, fufu, everything, the heavy accent. And I truly love my father. He was a great provider. He taught me valuable life lessons. But, it's something that I always regret, but deep down in my pocket, I didn't represent it. So as my father moved away, that got pushed in my back pocket even more. If you know anybody I went to high school with, I went to college with, I played Q Spring 92 at Wiley College, transfer graduated from FAMU, they would even tell you, I didn't even know he was Ghanaian. Even though my father, we communicated tough. He always reached out to me, gave me words of encouragement, named my kids. For years, he begged me to come to Ghana. He begged me to come to Ghana. And let me hold on to that, really put a star by that. And he was always dropping gems like, you need to come see it. I'm getting old. About 2009, my father came back to America and he came to Worcester, Massachusetts, where I was born, which is all Ghanaian now. There's about 20 families. Now, the whole city of Worcester's Ghanaian now.
I know Worcester because I grew up in Massachusetts, so I know
okay.
very well.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was born there, bro. We was one probably the first 30 families there.
Oh,
It was
wow.
Ghanaian. So,
Okay.
yeah. So I went and visited my father, man. My father was in a very emotional state. He had his leg amputated, man. We shared a great time. But one of the things he said, listen, you're the senior son. You got to come back. I have some things to show you. Only I can show you. That stuck with me. But because American capitalistic system, and we're always on a rush to do something, I didn't go. It was always next year. Until I finally got the call, and I think it was about 2014, that my father had passed.
Wow.
My father had died, and of course I was going to come bury my father, but there were certain things that went with it. As I came to bury my father stepping off the plane, I think that my father passing was a gift that was passed down as divine intervention for me to come to Ghana. One of the things that it did was when I stepped off the plane, the land grabbed me. Like I felt something, brother.
Yeah.
I felt seeing my people. And this is not a back to Africa story. This is just that I felt something grabbing in me. As I went to immigration, true story, the sister looked at my passport. She seen Niayete, which is a God name.
Right.
And she started speaking God to me. And I said, I don't know God. And she said, oh, She's like, you're lost. You're the lost Ghanaian. Welcome home. And it hit me in my heart and it stuck with me.
Yeah.
As I buried my father, speed up the story, what I started to learn is that I was welcomed into my family. My family is one of the original families of Jamestown. We got a family house there that's been there since probably the 1800s, and it looks like it too. And Jamestown is the hood, is one of the original neighborhoods where, basically people migrated from. But basically, it was like an old school hood story. This was grandma's house, great grandma's house. Aunts and uncles, everybody walking through the neighborhoods. People knew my father, my cousins, everything. It just felt as grimy as it was. It just felt at home to know that my family was originally from here, 5 minutes from the Atlantic Ocean, brother. In addition to me bearing my father, understanding that we are a people of tradition. I didn't understand it. Nah, you don't call the shots here. You have family elders. We have 3 meetings. This is how we do. There was real tradition here. One of the things that my father did do, he made sure that I grew up in diverse environments. So I grew up around Jewish people. I grew up around Italians. I grew up around all type of ethnicities. And for some reason, me pushing my culture away, you always looked at their culture. Like, oh, look what they do. Look what they do, this, and that. But not understanding that my people, no, this is how we bury, this is how we bury him. On Thursday, you go to the morgue, he's wrapped in a cloth. They have to bathe him. They take him in a hearse, and they take him to every house that he grew up in.
Right.
The final house is the house of his father. And people from all around come in their beautiful fabrics, bruh. And they worship you. It's all about you. It's about your father.
Right.
You sit there, and as you know, brother, I'm talking you to the choir, speeding it up. On Sunday, it's a party. Yeah. On Sunday, people come, they come to drink, they come to party, but it's a celebration, brother. So me embracing all this at my father's funeral, brother, and seeing people that look like me, seeing people that look like people I knew from Alabama, some of my frat brothers, some Deltas I know, some cats from the hood, seeing cats tall, skinny, seeing the young brothers with swag. They might be wearing secondhand clothes, but they fitted to death.
Right.
And just most importantly, seeing the humbleness in people, bro. How friendly they were. I'm from Detroit. We're all from urban cities, no matter where you're from. I didn't have to worry about that. For the first time, I was around men, and I wasn't confronted with that uneasiness of saying, "Hey, what's up, my man? How you doing?" Or "Hello." It was, "Hey, how you doing?" Right. It was a smile and nod when you're walking down the street. So to say that is, brother, more importantly, I was welcomed with something I was faced in as a grown man. And at that time, I think I was like 40, that my whole worldview had been turned around on what Africa was and what the world was and what Black people could do.
Yeah.
More importantly, from an economic sense, and I hate to be selfish to really say this, but we're all blessed, we're college educated to have jobs, and I was doing fairly well financially. I mean, I was okay. So I thought. I didn't own my Yukon, it was leased.
By the way, guys, if you're enjoying the content, please make sure you go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Give the video a thumbs up by smashing the like button. And also, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, make sure you drop it below. And then also, go ahead and click the notification bell so you can get updated every single time I upload a new video. Thank you, guys.
It was never mine. I didn't own my house. I think I had like 20 years to pay on that. So, everything I thought. But when I came to Ghana, like I said, my family, I still got cousins who sell tomatoes, who sell bees. They work in the market and stuff like that. To see my cousin who sells tomatoes tell me, "Hey, cousin, look, come see my property." And she's building a house, and she's got 2 bedrooms built, and this is hers free and clear.
Right.
"Cousin, show me your house that you're building. Right. Where's your property at?" Because she's seeing the Yukon, she's seeing the house, but she's not understanding that I live off credit. Where in Ghana, nothing is
mind
credit.
shifts. Yeah,
you got me, brother. Nothing is credit; it's all cash. Yeah. So even seeing that entrepreneurial spirit, brother, it just really, those type of things really drug me in, brother. To really assess that it put a chip on my shoulder.
Yeah, that's that. You said a mouthful, man. That's an amazing story. I mean, because funny thing is, it's not even funny, but before I got here to the States, I was a very naive child. I didn't know nothing about the transatlantic slave trade, nothing like that. So watching American movies in Ghana in the 80s and all that and seeing American culture, I didn't even think about how Black people ended up here in the States. I just I just thought that they were always here. There's something that never crossed my mind. So, and I always tell people the story. Like when I first found out in social studies class in 8th grade of the slave trade, looking at the pictures and everything, the way they depicted Africans as animals and all that, I went home and cried that day after school. Because I had no idea that something like that happened. Because I'm from, my family on my mother's side is from 2nd D in the Western region. So at the age of 4, I moved to Accra to live with my aunt. So we used to go back and forth, and we passed by those castles, Elmina and Cape Coast Castle. Well, they're dungeons, actually. I shouldn't say castles.
No doubt, they are dungeons.
Yeah, they're dungeons. And we always saw them. I never thought to ask, what are these buildings? Like, what are they doing here? I didn't know what went on over there.
Brother, I think that you're hitting on a point that's so key and critical. And I talk about the exchange between African Americans who are actually Africans and Ghanaians who are Africans, and that we're one, but we each have something to teach each other.
Absolutely.
Ghanaians are not Afrocentric. They are not taught the critical history of slavery or Africanism or learning their history or colonialism. It is not taught. And anytime you're not taught anything, you don't really go to learn it. So we're bringing that nature here of Black pride and let them know the power that they control, as the Chinese are here and the Lebanese have been here. But also the Ghanaian brings to us an entrepreneurial spirit that we don't have in our urban neighborhoods where they meet something out of nothing. Right. So to lead that is we have something to teach each other. Necessarily, when the African American comes here, and no disrespect to anybody, and their sole focus is on the past, which it should be the connection with Elmina, Cape Coast. Well, if you don't go touch the community and make those relationships specifically with the kids, your trip has been in vain.
Right.
Because the community's moving forward, bruh, and they trying to eat every day. And yeah, they know about that, but okay, how are we going to interact? How are you going to do that for us? Yeah. So even with our travel company, we make sure that at the basic standpoint, we provide that community interaction, so those conversations can be discussed.
Now, so I've been following you for a while on social media, and I see that you've established a foundation in Ghana. So yeah, tell us a bit about that and what, the things that you have going on there.
We started the Arts Care Foundation, but let me be clear, going back to something you talked about, this was started on a freak accident. And let me explain. I was sitting outside my compound, just sitting in the evening about 4 or 5 o'clock when the sun goes down. Cute little girl walked by, bruh. Chocolate as she could be, just cute. Didn't even know where she came from. She had a baby doll that I seen wrapped up, brother. So, little girl walking by, and as all the kids do here in Ghana, the majority of the time, they greet you as uncle, auntie. They stop and they say, hello, uncle, how are you doing? Right. I said, how are you doing? And she had her baby doll, and I said, hey, let me see your baby doll. And she sort of looked at me like she was protecting her baby, And I said, no, let me see it. And then she pulled off the cover of the baby doll. As precious as the baby doll was, the baby doll didn't resemble an image that looked like her. Baby doll was beautiful. Baby doll held no less value. She could see the look in my eyes, and she was almost looking at me like, no, I'm not giving you my baby doll. But I just felt as beautiful as a brown, chocolate, strong future leader of Ghana is, as you just discussed, you growing up, the programming, right, that she should have a doll that looks like her. Like I said, we can only do so much, but just to do something small, she should have a doll that looks like her. I posted it, obviously as we HBCU members, shout out to Wiley College, shout out to FAMU, and just my general friends. I posted on Facebook, bro, just in an attempt to raise maybe $5 to $10. Hey, reach, tagged a couple people. More importantly than the offer support I got, I started getting some messages that was touching from women. Like, you don't know what I went through. I grew up with this, that, some emotional effects, bro. That were seriously, I can't even share some very touching, almost messages that needed counseling help. Wow. Like, Maurice, I'm really glad you're doing this. Like, you don't know the impact it's had on me as a woman. And let me say, these were some very successful friends, but more importantly, messages I had from people I didn't know. I started to take in a little bit of money for dolls. and this is just a joke. One of my homegirls called me, and she works for the government. She said, "All right, Maurice, keep on taking that money. You're gonna get took to jail for white people." I wasn't thinking, you know what I'm saying? Right. So I said, all right, I need to form officially a foundation, you know what I'm saying? Because I wasn't really thinking about it. So we formed an Art Care Foundation, and we formed a Baby Like Me project. What we do is we gift baby dolls to our young Ghana princesses, brown, black baby dolls, with the attempt to promote positive self-esteem and, more important, appreciation of natural black beauty.
As the manager of Beyond the Return, Baby Like Me is a wonderful initiative that falls under Give Back Ghana.
To know at that tender age, brother, they're important.
Right.
We hold baby doll days where we hold actual workshops. We distribute the dolls, but we do positive self-affirmations and exercises with the girls, letting them know that they're special.
Guys, I hope you really enjoyed this interview. I put a lot of work and effort into this. I'm going to be dropping part 2 of this interview within the next few days. So stay tuned, stay blessed, and I hope you really enjoyed this. Please make sure you go ahead and like and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next video.